Hello, hello, my green skins, and greetings from Tromaville. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I hope you guys are enjoying the Toxic Avenger Marathon. We did part one, and now we're doing part two. And it's interesting because I have a hell of a time trying to find some scenes for this. It's almost at the point where I'm thinking of like screenshotting scenes from my freaking phone. It's that bad. I do like Toxic Avenger Part 2, and it's very cartoonish, but it works for what it is. And I kind of wish we had more of this type of stuff. It was really well done back then, and I still think it's good now. And I don't understand why people are turned off by this series as much. Like, if you're a horror guy, you should be watching this. You should have at least seen at least one Troma movie. And this takes the piss out of horror movies. And it's over the top. It's super violent, super gory, and it's super, in a lot of ways, fun. And I guess Lloyd decided he wanted to take a trip to Japan. That's the best way to put it. So we'll be talking about the cast next. So we're coming up with the cast for Toxic Avenger Part 2. The cast of Toxic Avenger 2. We got, I believe the voice was Ron Fazo of the Toxic Avenger. John Albarat as your body of the Toxic Avenger. The lead, Rick Collins, for the leader of the Apocalypse Company. Phoebe Lorraine as Claire. Okay, this is where we're going to have fun. Mayako Katsurage, I hope I said that right, as Masami. That's the Toxie's relationship and connection to Japan, which we'll get into the Japanese stuff. We have ourselves Rikiku Yayoshike as Big Mac. And that is and Jessica Dunnan as Miss Junko, which I believe is his mom. So that is who we have as our leads. And it's an interesting one, that's for sure. It looks like a couple of them from Japan have an interesting career. I was kind of surfing around going, well now. And I guess that's where we kind of start, where this became that over-the-top sexual and over-the-top grunge stuff that was going on. It did get quite interesting. And yeah, so Toxie kind of has an interesting idea point to it. And from what I can tell, at least I haven't seen 3 and 4 in forever. So after finishing 2, I can only imagine what 3 and 4 are going to be like. So let's break down for us the story of the Toxic Avenger Part 2. The story for Toxic Avenger Part 2. It takes place with our hero being so successful in wiping out all the evil that was slowly tormenting the Troma citizens of Tromaville and getting rid of those evil people who pirate movies and other things. You know Lloyd was thinking it. Actually, to be honest, pirating movies, probably how this thing blew up, I swear. And after defeating all the evil and getting rid of all the acid and all the bugs and all the disgustingness, he decides to take a day job volunteering with the blind. Now, this evil Apocalypse Company, who just wants to get rid of Toxie, because Toxie is a good doer, And good doers always have that bad guy trying to mess with them. They show up in a clown car limousine. Yeah, it's a clown car limousine to kill the Toxic Avenger in a horrible, horrible way. And after unsuccessfully killing him and trying to blow him up and getting in a very fun reminiscent of the early Batman. You have to when you're talking about that Batman. If you don't go da 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 Batman, you've never watched that. So reminiscent of that style and violently murders a bunch of people in very cartoony ways. He is depressed because he feels like, well, all those innocent people died. I wasn't able to save the day. He goes to his somewhat sexual therapist who pretty much makes him think that he has to find his father. He doesn't know where his father is. Well, he thinks that his father's in Japan, a man by the name of Big Mac. So, Toxic takes the eco-friendly way of wave surfing all the way to Japan. And that's when we know Lloyd Kaufman decided to take his tour. And, use this as an excuse to take a trip to Japan. Which, by the way, support me in my film of going to Japan. It's Super Mega Busters hunting sexy girls in Japan. It's not really a movie, but if you want to support the Kickstarter for that. Kidding. Of course I'm kidding. Of course I would go to Japan to try to pick up Asian girls. No, that never happened. So, after he takes a trip to Japan, which gets us a run-in with a girl by the name of Masami, he ends up traveling around Japan trying to find his father and getting in a lot of fun little fights and some very, again, extreme gore and violence assumes. He gets back to America to basically kick all the bad guys out of Tromaville. They've showed up to kill everybody. And they are defeated. And they flee Tromaville. And the Toxic Avenger wins. Cut to credits, and bam, bam, there you go. That's it. Wasn't much to this movie. It was basically a gotta find my father. I wish I could say more, but the truth is it's very cut and dry. But that's what makes this kind of fun, because that's when we get to the gore. So, you probably want me to talk about the acting and the music. The acting is, you're watching Toxic Avenger, Part 2. The music, do 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 do. There you go. It's like Lloyd Kaufman thought to himself, let's take the old Batman, that type of da-da-na-na-na-na-na Batman, that style, and then super gorify it and make it super cartoony. And that's what makes this fun to watch. Like, I had a smile on my face. This is definitely junk food theater. And Lloyd is amazing at that. And from some of the actresses, I think are from other, Japanese grindhouse movies, because they do have a very booming grindhouse market. And that indie, over-the-top, girls, tits hanging out type of thing, to, guys, taking a racetrack and snorting a bunch of, nose candy from a old racetrack like that. That's the Japanese. So he took a little bit of that extreme and a little bit of other one and added together. This is insanely cartoony, and it is so much fun. From a guy being cooked alive, I couldn't find the scene, unfortunately, to a woman being turned into a radio, to this guy's nose being turned into a fish, frying a fish. This is gory, over the top, extreme, fun. And you figure you're not going to be you won't be entertained, but I surprisingly was entertained this entire time. Toxic Avenger Part 2 is quite good. And I'm really enjoying it. I enjoyed it, and it wasn't bad. Like, this would be great with a pizza, like a dirty burger type meal. You know, when you had like pizza, or maybe buy some burgers with a buddy at the local burger joint, a couple sodas, a couple beers, and watch it with a friend. Watch it with your friends. That's what this is, and Lloyd Kaufman just hits that mark. This is over the top. This isn't so awful that I'm like, ugh. This didn't have, there's some realism in here. One of the most realism moment is when this guy just keeps getting his arm and leg chopped off, and he's screaming horribly. And it's a gory scene. And it comes right out of left field, actually. It's super over the top. I would love to see, like, the thought process behind that. Like, let's do that. Let's just do it this way. This had amazing gore. It was fun. And I didn't hate this. That's the best way to put it. Next is going to be the ratings. What am I going to rate the Toxic Avenger Part 2? Well, thinking about it, 5.5 is the best way to go with this. It is a dirty burger with fries you have at 3 in the morning. You think the guy put an egg on your burger, that type of stuff. That's what this is. This is junk food for the mind. 5.5 works great. It's just above average. Absolutely enjoyed. I like the Toxic Avenger. I want more from Toxie. And I'm going to get more by watching Toxic Avenger Part 3. And then we're going to be doing the Toxic Crusader, which I'm dreading the Toxic Crusader because I watched episode 1 just recently to kind of figure out if I was going to do this or part 4. I need to do this just to exorcise the demon that is Toxic Crusader from my life. And yeah, so that's my review of Toxic Avenger Part 2. Have yourselves a very good day. Like, subscribe, get these videos out of there because unfortunately Toxic Avenger is not going to get much attention by people. And you guys have yourselves a very, very good day.